What's up, folks? Thane, Sun's Detail. Time for a little ride and chat. It's Friday afternoon, so got some things we got to get out. And, I follow a lot of the socials. I follow a lot of the YouTube guys, and you kind of always want to see what's going on out there. And it's just lately, it's been over and over and over and over and over again that, you should start out with this Harbor Freight or Griots that you get at the AutoZone or something, and you should start out with one of those, and then you should eventually work your way back up to a Rotary. And I think that is flawed. I think they got that backwards. And here's the reasoning for that. A lot of people, they'll start out with one of those randoms, and then they'll work their way up, and they'll eventually go buy themselves some 15 or 21 millimeter throw DA, and they stop. They stop right there. And they never get to the Rotary. So now there's like all these detailers out there, paint correctors, that don't even know how to use the thing. They don't know how to properly use a Rotary. They're scared of it. It's like a big scary monster back here that's going to bite their head off if they go touch one or turn it on or even talk about it. And that ain't cool, man. That ain't right. So I say flip it around. Start at the Rotary and work your way down. Make your life easier. Start with the hardest thing you have to do and then work your way down the line. In business, that's what we do. You have 5 problems you have to attack today. Well, you take on the biggest, baddest, nastiest one first, and then you work your way through the end of the day taking care of all the little ones. Same thing when it comes to learning. If we would approach learning that way and do the hardest part first and do the easiest part last, life becomes a lot simpler. And I think it all starts from like in school. When you're in school, they teach you math, right? They teach you easy, and it progressively gets harder. And that may work in that space of life or whatever you want to call it. But I don't think it works for this. Because what you're doing is you're starting out giving results that could be better. You have somebody trying to start a business, and they're gonna give you results that they may end up being able to give you better results had they started at a Rotary and worked their way down, and now they knew every machine before they put their hands on paint because something clicked in them. Something said, I want to go from washing vehicles to correcting paint. Dude, go for it. But understand what you're getting into before you get into it. Don't just watch a couple of YouTube videos and go, hey, I can go buy one of those Rupes Mark 400 whatever machines. I can do that. I've got my 15 bucket method for washing down. Now I can correct paint. That ain't how it works. So I say, that's how a lot of us learn. We walked into auto paint and body when we were kids, and some of us, and the teacher gave you a DeWalt with a 9-inch wool pad on it and said, here, go buff out my hood. And like 30 seconds later, all the paint was gone. And he'd just laugh at you and say, now you know what not to do. Now let me teach you how to do it the right way. And by the way, at the end of the semester, you're going to repaint my hood. And it was fun. It's how we learned, right? So there's no reason you can't do that if say you're 30 years old and you're starting this detail business and you want to go do that. You can do the same thing. Go to the junkyard, get a hood, tear all the paint off of it with a Rotary and learn how to not do that. Find somebody that knows how to not do that and partner up with them. Have them mentor you. Have them teach you. It's not that hard. But when you start at the bottom and try to work your way to the top, A, you're not Drake. It ain't going to work. B, you're making your life progressively get harder instead of progressively get easier. So I think they get themselves up to the point of using that long throw, and then they go, hey, I'm good. I don't need a Rotary. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Because the 15 hours you spent trying to cut out those sanding scratches that you put in probably too deep, you could have saved a lot of time. And, if you're really smart about it, you'll play the little game some of us geeks have played where you measure your paint. You have to go buy a paint meter to do that. You measure the paint and you run a rotary over it, and then you measure it again. And then you run it over it again, and you measure again. How many times can I run that rotary over that paint before it's not there anymore? Because the whole goal of what we do is to reduce the paint by the smallest amount. Just shave the top of it off. That's the goal. And I think once you realize that your goal is to shave off the smallest amount of clear coat to get it to look the best as possible. Because we're talking about daily drivers, we're not talking about show cars. Then when you look at it like that, and then you look at the fact that your goal is to, use the best tool for the job, a lot of times that best tool is the rotary. But you're scared of it and you don't know how to use it because somebody told you to start with a Harbor Freight and work your way up, and then you stopped at a DA. You stopped at a 15 millimeter DA. Start with the rotary and work your way down. I promise you, your life is going to be easier. If you don't agree with me, change the channel. I don't give a shit. But I promise you, it will make your life easier. Just try it. See what you think. Staying with Sons Detail. If you like the channel, subscribe. If you don't subscribe. I don't give a shit. And if you have any questions, we're going to start doing this every Friday. We're going to start throwing up on everybody every Friday. So if you want to see something that I throw up about, let me know. I got a guy that wants me to talk to y'all about towels. Not everything in detailing needs to be talked about sitting in front of a car, sitting in front of a truck with a rag or a polisher or, a mitt or vacuum or whatever in your hands. You can just talk about things if you have a brain. So let's just talk, let's think about things and marinate about it. And like I said, if you like it, send me a message, let me know what you want to hear about, and we'll talk about it. Sons Detail, ride clean.